Good afternoon. It is Sunday and I haven't given you guys a DoorDash update in a while. I did a grocery order and what was on this list was 2 bags of donuts, 2 boxes of Little Debbie snack cakes, 2 bags of chips, and a box of Splenda. It does make you wonder why somebody who's ordering all that sugary desserts and snacks would then want a sugar-free, 0-calorie sweetener. But guys, if you guys are using this stuff, stop immediately. This stuff is junk. So the ingredients on this, and I know most of you already know this, but I just want to share real quick. Dextrose, maltodextrin, Splenda, and sucralose. I mean, they're not doing themselves any favor by using a 0-calorie sweetener because maltodextrin and dextrose are going to spike your insulin just as much as just eating regular sugar and all the other sugar stuff that I just bought for them. So I just thought that was interesting. Thought I would share that little tidbit with you on this Sunday afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Dawn, and this channel is Dawn Does Keto. This channel is all about my accountability and my personal journey on the ketogenic diet. This month, I am loving keto and finding ways to love myself through keto. I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to start off by saying it is 2:30 in the afternoon. I woke up today and I did not have to go to my mother-in-law's. My brother and sister-in-law were in town for a visit. So they weren't leaving till today. So they were there this morning to help with my father-in-law. So I didn't have to get up and go over there. I made the executive decision that I was going to have a mental health day today, which meant staying home, staying in bed a little bit longer. I joined in on Two Crazy Ketos live today and on Keto Chow's live today, which I normally never get to do because I'm helping my father-in-law. So I was able to do that today, which was awesome. Also, over the last 3 days, I have gotten up and I've had a little bit of a headache. I'm also having problems with my teeth are hurting and my jaw is hurting. So I'm wondering if I am not possibly grinding my teeth or clenching my teeth in my sleep, and that's causing me to wake up with a headache. It's not something I've ever had an issue with, so just something I'm kind of watch, but that I've been dealing with for the last couple of days. So it was kind of nice to just be able to stay in bed and not have to jump up and go somewhere today. So I didn't even get in the shower until noon. And then I got out of the shower and I put sweats on. I have sweatpants on and a sweatshirt because I'm not leaving the house. I then broke my fast. I had 2 hard-boiled eggs with guacamole and 1 baggy bacon. And then as you saw in the opening clip, I also made myself a keto chow coffee because it was just super nice to sit and have a warm keto chow and be able to enjoy it while I was working on some things here at the house and not be on the road and having to not really be able to focus on my food too much, because when I'm on the road, I just eat and I don't really get to actually sit and enjoy it. So that was kind of nice. Along those lines, I did want to tell you guys that I am now officially an affiliate with Keto Chow. And what that means is I have a link in the description down below, and you can click on that link and you can get 10% off of your Keto Chow purchase, and I will get a little bit in return for that to help my channel out. You have to use that link, though. You have to actually click through that link. So that would just greatly help us out. If you already use Keto Chow, if you would use that link, that would be amazing. If you don't use KetOH-IO and you haven't tried it and you have any questions about it, feel free to email me at dawndoesketo@gmail.com and I can answer any questions that you might have about the KetOH-IO products. I was super excited. That happened last week, so I was excited to share that with you guys because the growth of my channel and you guys commenting and liking and subscribing has made that possible, and I truly appreciate that. Something else I was working on today, as you all know, I've talked about this, my daughter's getting married in December. I am planning a bridal shower that's going to happen in October, and we have to get our invitations ordered by the end of February for that shower. So that is something else I was sat around and kind of worked on the guest list so that I could make sure that we had enough invitations for the shower. Some other pieces of business, things I want to talk about. One is KetOH-IO. We have a limited number of spaces for the KetOH-IO meetup. We've talked about this before. It is happening on March 25th at Smoky Bones in Columbus. Mike and I will be there, and we have approximately 50 spots available, and we have filled 45 of those. So we are down to only having about 5 spots left. So if you are interested in attending, please send me an email to confirm. I have sent out emails. I've sent out lists of people that have confirmed. If you did not receive an email from me, then I must have missed your email somehow. So please just make sure you send that again. There's information in that email about ordering t-shirts if you're interested in that, and all the other pertinent details to that meetup. But I did want to mention it again because I don't want anybody to be left out. Send me an email if you want more information about that. Something else I was working on today is Mike and I are planning a small overnight trip on March 18th. It's kind of a date night, and it is with our good friends Emily and James over at Ready Set Keto. I know most of you know who they are. And we are planning a little dinner, and we're going to get a hotel, maybe with a pool and a hot tub, and just hang out because you all know Emily is my keto BFF. That being said, our plan for that evening is for Mike and I to do our first live from the hotel. Now, I have mentioned before that Mike and I are technically challenged. So we figured this would be a perfect time for us to do a live because James and Emily can join us and help us with all the technical issues and kind of show us how to set this up and do it. So mark your calendars for March 18th. That's a Saturday evening. It'll probably be early afternoon. We haven't set a time yet. We want to have time to hang out and just have fun and enjoy each other, but we are going to try to squeeze in about an hour, I'm thinking, of a live during that trip. So something I was working on today was also trying to find a hotel for us to stay at. So again, March 18th, mark your calendar. It looks like it's going to be Mike and I's first live. So wish us luck. We're going to need it. I'm super nervous about it, even though it's like over a month away. This is something that you guys have been asking for. So we are going to attempt to do this for you. One more piece of business is I have one more video coming out next week, and it will be the last video for the month of February. So I've been thinking about what I want to do for March, and I'd like to have a little bit of a challenge, and Mike and I have been talking about it, and I think we're going to do an activities challenge. So we're going to call it Movement March. And what we're planning on doing, we're hoping that the weather will get nicer. Usually it does in March, but we haven't had much of a winter, guys. So I'm really nervous that March we are going to get hit with like major snowstorms and bad weather. But we don't know, and we can't base our decisions on that. So we are going to go ahead and do a movement challenge. What we're planning on trying to do is to walk, Mike and I together. So Mike is joining this one. He did not do February's challenge with me, but he is going to do March's challenge, which is 50 miles in the month of March. Over the course of the whole month, we want to get in at least 50 miles of walking. I still have to download maybe an app on my phone or something that tracks how far you've walked. So if you guys know of a good app to use, let me know. Drop it down in the comments because I need to download something to do that. Usually I just use my watch because I have like an Apple Watch, but I'd like something that does more like a GPS thing that tracks like how far you've walked, if that makes sense. Now, we would love it if you guys would join us. That does not mean that you need to set a goal of walking 50 miles, especially if you aren't as active, maybe 50 miles is too much. If you want to set a goal of, walking 3 miles a week or, a half a mile a day, whatever your goals are, whatever you feel is attainable for you, maybe try to push yourself a little bit, but set some sort of goal for March. Put that down in the comments down below as well. We'd love to know what kind of goals and activity goals that you may have for the month of March. Everybody's different, and we don't expect anybody to do exactly what Mike and I are doing, but this is a way for us to stretch ourselves and get more physical activity in, and hopefully the days will start staying a little bit lighter out and we're not going to be out walking at dark, I hope. But if we do, we do. We'll figure out a way to get it in. That's the plan. So I think that's everything that I wanted to touch on. Sorry, I'm just kind of like flying through everything. I wanted to make sure I touched on it all today. I'm going to jump into my struggles and successes for the week, as always. My goals for the month of February on this Love Keto, Love Myself, or Love Yourself challenge, I had 3 main goals. I wanted to stay on keto for the entire month and have no off-plan meals. I wanted to have no snacking in between my meals and have no keto treats, meaning like bars, snacks, chocolates, different things like that. The only thing I was having was keto chow. So I would have like a creamy or a keto chow shake, or I haven't made any, but like pudding or something like that. So I did include the fact that I could have keto chow during the month of February. And also Mike and I, we're going to continue to intermittent fast. We usually break our fast around noon, depending on how we're feeling, and we try to close our eating window around 7. And that's just because we feel better when we do that. Mike and I both have found that we just feel more optimal when we have a shorter eating window during the day and we're not eating late at night. So those were our 3 main goals, and I hit all of those goals this week, so super happy about that. Thursday evening, we went out. We took all of our kids out and our grandchildren. I'll insert a picture just because I love them so much, and they're all wonderful, and it makes me happy when we're all together. But we went to a restaurant called the Brimfield Family Restaurant. For dinner, I ordered 2 chicken breasts. They did like a little side salad as a side, and there really wasn't another side that I wanted, so I did 2 of those. So I did 2 small side salads, and I think all that was on it was cucumber and cheese, and then I did 2 chicken breasts, and I only ate 1 of the chicken breasts, and I brought the other one home. The only thing about that dinner, I stayed keto, but there wasn't really any fat in that meal because of it being chicken. Oh, I had mushrooms on my chicken too. Sorry, I forgot to say that. But it was definitely not a higher fat meal, and my protein was obviously a lot higher than my fat during that meal, but I did stay keto. On Friday, our granddaughters spent the night with us, and we decided to take them to go see my mom. Obviously, those are their great grandchildren. She doesn't get to see them that often, so when we do have them, we try to make it a point to take them over to visit. My mom had decided that she wanted us to stop and bring McDonald's for them for dinner. I did not want to have McDonald's. I kind of packed a lunch to take to my mom's, or packed a dinner, I guess you would say. I made myself some egg salad, and I took some of the cauliflower thins that I bought at Trader Joe's. They're like little sandwich thins, and I made myself a couple egg salad sandwiches, and I had a couple ounces of cheese. And that's what I had when everyone else was eating McDonald's. So I ate my egg salad, and it was delicious. On Saturday, Mike and I had plans to go to a show with some friends. They decided they were going to meet at an Italian restaurant for dinner. So Italian is one of those, it's kind of difficult when you're doing keto, but not impossible. It's not perfect, but I ended up getting a meatball and sausage casserole. So basically it was 2 like large meatballs, 1 piece of sausage with some marinara and cheese melted on top, and I had a salad with that. I had that casserole and the salad, and did not have any bread, did not have any pizza, no pasta or anything like that. So that was good. And then one other struggle I had this week was just yesterday. Mike and I worked late. We ended up being out much later than we had intended. And by the time we got dinner made, which was just some hamburgers that Mike grilled on the Blackstone, it was way past our eating window. I don't think we got to eat till about 8:30 last night. That was a little bit of a struggle because because as I said earlier in the video, we try to be done eating by 7 p.m. Neither one of us like to eat late at night. It makes us not feel as good when it's time to lay down and go to sleep. We still stayed on plan and had a great dinner. It was just a little bit later than we normally like. With all of that being said, I got up this morning and I got on the scale and I weighed in at 173.8. So I am up 1.4 pounds this week. And as I stated last week, I don't know why. I am staying on plan. I am making good decisions, but my weight every week has creeped up a little bit this month. So this week I'm up 1.4 pounds. But since I stopped beef, butter, bacon, and eggs at the beginning of February, I'm up a total of 3.2 pounds overall. Now that stinks. Not gonna lie. You know, we all want the scale to say something lower, but guys, I feel great. I said this last week. I feel good. I have tons of energy. My clothes, it's weird. Like my clothes don't feel any tighter so far this month. All of the clothes that I was able to start fitting into doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs still fit the same. Also, when we were out the other night with our friends, you know, Mike and I took a picture together because I do that a lot. Since my father-in-law's accident, we thought we were going to lose him after that accident in 2021. During that time, we were kind of going through photos and pictures, and we would have dinner with my mother and father-in-law at least like once a week, sometimes every other week, but quite often. And as we were going through photos, we realized we didn't have as many pictures as we should have. For as much time as we spent with them, we just never took photos. One of my goals last year, not this past January, but the January before, which was January of 2022, because I don't usually set resolutions. I usually like to set what I call a goal. And my goal going forward was just to take more photos. And so anytime we hang out with friends or spend time with family, even if it's just a dinner, I try really hard to take pictures. I had a picture pop up on Facebook. It was a memory of last February, and it was just Mike and I. We had gone out for lunch. We had both gotten new glasses and gone out to have a meal and taken a picture. I was about 4 months into my keto journey and Mike had just started. So I'm going to insert a picture here of us on that date, which was 2 years ago, and the picture that we took on Saturday night. It may not seem like a huge difference to you guys, but when I look at that picture, I can tell in my face how much rounder my face is, and in the new picture how much more defined. Like I've always kind of had a round face, but I definitely have thinned out there, and you can tell that Mike has also thinned out. When I talk about just, you know, being happy where I'm at, not only how my clothes are fitting, but when I do take a photograph, you know, I'm not sitting there like, oh geez, I look awful in that picture, or, you know, I really need to lose some weight. I mean, I used to avoid the camera like the plague, and now it just doesn't bother me to take those pictures. And so when I talk about just being in a better place and being happier, it's little things like that, and the fact that I'm not overly self-conscious about, you know, having my photo taken, that is kind of like just a small non-scale victory for me, and something else that I just choose to focus on as opposed to what the scale is saying on any given day. So I'm not really sure why the scale is showing a higher number, but honestly, I'm just not going to worry about it. I am in a really good place right now. I feel great mentally. I feel great physically. I am super happy. I'm probably, you know, I've said this before since I've been on keto, I'm happier than I remember being ever in my life, because I always dealt with, you know, depression and anxiety, and, you know, I just don't have those things happening now, and I've just have found joy in my life, and my joy is not dependent on what that scale says. So I'm not going to change anything. I love the way that I'm eating. I don't feel hungry at all. I'm not going to cut back on calories or do anything like that to try to hit a number on the scale. In the long run, I'd just be hurting myself because I'm going to screw up my metabolism and require less calories to continue to get the scale to go down. So, you know, I would love to be in the 150s, but if the scale decides that it's not going to move, I'm not going to be upset about it. I think it will eventually. It's going to start moving again. The only explanation I have is that my body's still adjusting to not being on beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And that's fine because, like I said, I'm not going to change anything. This is my way of eating. This is my lifestyle. And I'm happy with the way I'm eating. And I don't want to be unhappy with the way that I'm eating. So I'm not going to change anything at this point. I was super proud of myself for every decision that I made this week. I mean, you guys just saw Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all 3 of those days I had the opportunity to go off plan and I did not. So those are definitely positives. And as I said in last week's video, I choose to focus on that rather than the number that is showing up on the scale. I will continue to weigh in every week because that does keep me accountable. And honestly, if I did not have to weigh in, I would not always make the best decisions. Again, that doesn't mean I'm not going to ever have any off-plan meals, but I tend to stay on track and eat better when I know that I have to report my weight every week, regardless of what that weight is, because it's not always great. But having to report that to you guys, the good or the bad, helps keep me accountable. So I will continue to do that. I'm just not going to allow that number to determine whether or not I'm happy, upset. It is what it is. So I do believe that's everything for this week. I hope I touched on everything that I wanted to talk about. One more thing I want to kind of do while I'm just kind of having my mental health day is read our chapter in the book, The Case Against Sugar. Mike and I will be having dinner tomorrow night and discussing the first half of chapter 1. So if you're reading along, that's where we're at. I look forward to seeing you guys all tomorrow. Have a great Monday.